This is an Audio Wool original.
It is Frightday. I'm your host, Byron. Roadside attractions, desperate meals, losing direction, flat tires, dead ends, unexpected friends. Over the course of your life, you've likely experienced a peculiar moment during your driving vacations. But what if that was the intention? The more, the scarier? We'll talk about that tonight as we break down Kelly's high strangeness road trip. I'm joined tonight by Kelly herself.
Hello.
Sam can't make it because he did enough, okay? He spent a week on the road with you. Very exciting. Kelly, welcome back.
Why, thank you. I don't know if you really mean that.
Well,
but at some point, I need to talk to you about this Year of the Believer thing because you're definitely misinterpreting what a believer means.
I'm trying.
I listened to the
Oh no, Casual Frightday.
That was bullshit. That's not about believing.
I'm trying. So yeah, much like the post-vacation slideshows of the past, I think we're gonna walk through some pictures and videos that Kelly shared with me while on a week-long paranormal walkabout in the American Southwest. I guess I should say, we're live right now at twitch.tv/Frightday or Frightday.live. There's going to be a lot of visuals that you might be missing out on. The video replay of this will be available exclusively to Society members at thefrightdaysociety.org. Thanks for, sending me all these lovely desert vistas, Kelly, while it was, I don't know, like negative 60 wind chill here.
Yeah, we missed real bad weather back home. I was pretty glad that we weren't here for it, to be honest.
It was brutal. I was like the only Audio Wool guy suffering. Dennis was in Hawaii. You were in the American Southwest. Jared was in Austin, but claiming to be cold. I don't know. It was fine.
Well,
it's nice now.
Our first night, Byron, the ghost tour on the first night, it was 11 degrees for the ghost tour. So, it wasn't negative 50, but it wasn't warm.
You were gone for, 10 days?
Yeah, 8, 9, 10, something like that.
And this was
we filled them.
It was a celebration of your 50th? It's been a while since I've done an age dig. It's okay. 50
is great, but it wasn't 50. It was 40.
Great.
It just took us a while to organize it, but it was glorious.
I guess I'll let you take the lead based on what's on screen. I think this is the first thing that you sent me from your first date, which was this in Albuquerque?
Yes, we actually flew from Missoula to Albuquerque, and we got in the evening, and we really wanted to make use of all the time we had. So the very first night we did a walking ghost tour. It was almost canceled since it was so cold, but they held on to it. There were 4 other people on the ghost tour.
Is that
total
what kind
stoners.
I was going to say, what type of person goes on a ghost tour like that?
Yeah, they weren't mean, but they were annoying. I guess it's kind of like going to see a movie, right? And I was just like, okay, whatever. But the woman giving the tour was actually fabulous. She did a wonderful job. It's Albuquerque Ghost Tours. They've been around for a really long time, and they have a logo that uses the Zia symbol, which also I learned the Zia symbol, like so many other things, we totally not even appropriated because it's worse than that. Like the government uses it for everything having to do with New Mexico and the New Mexico.
Is it on the flag?
Highway signs. Yeah, it's everywhere, but it's like a sacred symbol. And so that made me feel kind of icky when I saw that being used everywhere. But the tour was great.
When you put a clip art ghost in the middle of it?
I would guess that that's one of the less offensive ways that it's been used because it is everywhere. I mean, the government that literally killed tons of the Native American people and then also took and used the symbol for whatever they wanted seems to be pretty awful.
I like Albuquerque. I think the people of Albuquerque are really nice. One time I was on tour and our van broke down there and we had to spend 3 nights with a family from Albuquerque, like fans of our band.
And was it just random family?
It was a random family. Yeah, the family of one of our fans let us stay in their house for 3 days. They cooked us like very authentic Mexican food. There's a hot sauce I thought was a soup They like let us ladle big bowls of it and just kind of watched us foolishly try to be polite by not suffering. It was great. I watched Dane Cook and Jessica Simpson's Employee of the Month on the couch. It was nice. It was a really cool reset.
That movie. Yeah, I have to say that other than Las Vegas, everyone that we interacted with on this entire trip was amazing. Like some of the kindest people I've ever met. Incredible human beings down there.
Both alive and dead.
Actually, well, there was one dead one that was not super nice, actually.
Interesting.
But that's at the end.
So this image has been on screen for a while now, and I'm zooming in to display, I think, is this where you'd like to start, or should we let them continue trying to stare at this?
Let's start here. Unfortunately, I can never get logged onto Twitch because my account is always frozen out. I never really know why, so I won't be able to see what people are saying. But Byron, you can relay if there's something I need to answer.
Yeah.
The story that we were being told, this is so Old Town Albuquerque, some of the buildings in Old Town date back to the 1700s, and there are a few buildings that are back even further than that. This building was built in the 1700s. There's a story about a woman named Mary who lived there and was murdered, is known to be one of those helpful ghosts that like shows up and helps out around the place. It's a restaurant.
What do you mean by helps out?
Sometimes
what does helping out look like?
Somebody will be closing down at night and they'll go to the bathroom and come back and all of the tables are bust and the stuff's in the kitchen.
Oh.
Or so like a really helpful ghost, kind of like the one that I wish I could have so I didn't have to clean house ever. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Should we let everyone know that you're very ill right now as well?
Oh yeah. I am currently debating whether the chemtrails over Area 51 or the ghost from the place we stayed on the last night cursed me, but not feeling good at all. So apologies, everybody.
I just want to get that out there. Yeah.
I would love to know if anyone else can see the face in the window. For context, Byron brought up that it looks like the face would have to be giant. This is a really old building, so the window's actually very small.
How many inches are you guessing? 20 wide?
Maybe more like 15.
Great.
It was not like very small.
So here's windows. A second image of that, and this is just kind of like how would you describe this architecture style? Stucco, southwestern,
Adobe.
Mm-hmm. If you're looking to the bottom half of this window here, which I mean I didn't see it, and then Kelly drew this lovely.
Okay, that was with my finger on the phone.
Yeah, which appears to be the face is taking up, I don't know, a majority of the window in this.
Okay, so go back and see because I would say about half the people I've shown this to can see it.
I mean, I see a dark spot, but then there would also be a dark spot here with a nose on the left of it too. If you're really considering,
I wish I could point. Damn it!
Well, it seems like you're thinking.
Yes, wait. Oh, yep. There. So hold on. There.
You can't just keep saying. This is a podcast.
I mean, yeah, because I don't know what the delay is. You can see, at least I and the people who can see it, see two dark, sunken-in eyes, kind of a small nose,
just too large.
Chin that comes to a point.
All right, the old me would say.
Okay, so just to be clear, Byron, believing blindly is every bit as dumb as debunking blindly.
I'm not debunking blindly.
I'm asking is agnosticism. Just be like, huh.
Well, there's marks up here, too. There's also marks all over the second window above it. Why are those not?
I see the marks in the blinds there. What I see on the bottom, and I took the picture from like 3 different angles, and the face shows up in all the different angles.
Yeah, which means that it's a stain on some wood. Yeah. But that's okay. I would like everyone tuning in now or rewatching.
There isn't any wood we can see from there.
This is all the same.
Just blinds. No,
it's fine. We're going to have to let everyone else decide for themselves. And we'll post the images on X or Twitter as well at Frightday. We'll see what people think.
So other than it being cold and there being some pretty spooky stories, that wasn't a terrifying experience, but it was a really good start to the trip. Froze our butts off, stayed at the Hotel Chaco, which was a great hotel. And then the next day, we got in the car to head towards White Sands National Park, which was one of the stops. We made a couple stops for Sam. This was fun for me too, but Sam likes the non-controversial stuff. So on the way there, though, we drove by Socorro, New Mexico. So clearly, we had to stop in Socorro.
And we got some video here.
Okay, we're here in Socorro. This is our first major stop of the trip, and we found some directions to the alleged landing site of the Lonnie Zamora incident in 1964. And we are walking down this road to the location. And Sam is angry because he thinks we're trespassing. But I don't think we are. Yep.
Were you trespassing, Kelly?
There's a lot of discussion of trespassing on this trip.
Sure.
Here's what I will tell you. We were walking by a makeshift Baptist church made out of sheet metal. Mm-hmm. And if we were trespassing, we weren't doing anything disrespectful to them. So I don't really care. But according to the maps, we were not.
Trespassing doesn't mean that you will have to be doing anything wrong. It's just you're someplace you're not supposed to be. Also, I appreciate, the content that you took and sent while on this adventure, Kelly, but you shot everything vertically for some reason.
I didn't even think about it. I just shot it the way I was holding the camera.
Oh my God. A nightmare.
So here's the thing. I, over the course of this trip, came to believe something when it comes to trespassing.
Okay.
If there isn't a fence and there isn't a sign,
sure,
then the people must not be too concerned about it.
I mean, do you have a sign or a fence at your house, Kelly?
We do have a fence. We have a really big fence. Like a really, really big one.
It's not that big. I've been to your house. I've been in your backyard.
It's a really tall fence.
It's not a great justification for, doing that.
Well, I mean, in terms of whether it's going to cause significant problem, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Either way,
this was amazing.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the Lonnie Zamora incident to the best of my knowledge. An incident that happened in 1964 involving a police officer who saw something land just outside of Socorro, New Mexico. This is actually the spot where it landed. I took a sample of the dirt there to see if we could do some type of
one more video and some pictures.
Testing on it?
Yeah, here, let's see.
All right, here's the rock circle. This is exactly where they landed.
Big rock circles.
Touchdown.
We're in the landing spot.
This is real cool. Wow. Sam, you got some kind of radiation detector?
For the campfire ring?
The campfire ring. Oh, I miss that guy sometimes.
It's not a campfire ring.
Well, it looks like one.
No? Wow.
Yeah, Debbie Downer. Sam, Debbie Downer.
That's it. So what it is, though, it is...
Where it landed. Look there's nothing growing in the middle of it. Do you notice that?
There's nothing growing around it either, Kelly.
It's fucking New Mexico. Nothing grows anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal that there's nothing growing in there. Look at that. Look at that.
So let's describe what exactly we're looking at. You walked up on an area well treaded, it seems. Lots of people are coming up to take a peek at where the saucer may have landed.
I mean, I don't know that it looks real similar to the land around it. It doesn't look more like treaded than the rest of it. I don't want to give too much of this away, but the circles are drawn around supposedly where the legs came down. So we are going to do an episode on this.
Is it where the legs came down or where the propulsion?
There's three
different
circles. There were the legs. Yeah, where the legs came down.
Cool. That makes sense. I was just looking at this image here, which shows kind of a strong propulsion, some sort of representation of propulsion down the center of it. But
yeah, this is a really interesting story, and Jacques Vallée has actually talked a lot about this one, and so we are going to do an in-depth episode, a one-off, but a good in-depth one at some point in the near future.
Yeah, I think that sounds fun. Here's an image of you and Sam pointing at some rocks. That's great. He looks like he's having a good time.
Sam wasn't pointing at anything.
Just you.
He just didn't believe any of it, at least yet.
And then there's you standing in front.
A woman painted a whole mural about it, like just down the road a little ways. You can read the words that she painted about Officer Zamora.
Southwest of this location, one of the best documented UFO sightings in U.S. history was witnessed by City of Socorro police officer Lonnie Zamora. Is that right?
Now, just a quick aside, Lonnie Zamora, part Native American, maybe even full Native American. I need to look into that. I believe he was Navajo. The Zia symbol is slightly less offensive in that context, but just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I mean, this is very interesting. The mural is lovely. I'm confused about why it's angled the way it is, but maybe it's a drainage ditch?
Yeah, I think it was just painted on what was available.
Okay.
It's kind of, how like around Missoula, they have murals on those like electrical boxes.
Sure. Yeah.
Same type of deal.
Wonderful. Very cool. What a nice little first day. The incident was investigated by top scientists and has been the subject of books, newspaper, and magazine articles, documentaries, and TV shows. But the fact remains that the object witnessed by Zamora that day has not been identified. For the whole story, visit www. It's at Socorro, what is that? onm.gov?
Yep.
Nice. And click Socorro Landing. Very nice. Nice little first day,
go.
right? Oh, this is technically second day.
Yeah, but first full day. At this point, we were driving around the place where anybody who enjoyed Oppenheimer last year, where all of the testing was done. And the Trinity site, where the first nuclear bomb was set off, has been obviously central in a ton of UFO sighting. We drove by it, but fun fact, the actual Trinity site with the monument they have for it is only open twice per year. You can only go to it 2 days per year, and you have to schedule way in advance because it books up really fast. So clearly we didn't get to actually see it, but we drove around it.
Do you know
and
why
then we
that
drove
is?
down to White Sands. Well, because it's still an active missile range.
Okay.
And so they have to halt all of their testing, obviously, any days that people are going to be on site.
Wow. Very interesting. Very cool.
Also, when we were at national parks and national places, we learned that everything is severely understaffed. I could not buy a patch at the very large array, which made me more angry than just about anything ever.
Couldn't buy a patch? What do you mean by that?
Well, I collect patches for everywhere I go.
Oh, okay.
And very large array is, those giant satellite telescopes from Contact.
Yeah.
Like that Jodie Foster. Yeah. So we went there. It's amazing. The gift shop was closed, so I couldn't buy a patch because they didn't have enough staff.
Understaffed.
The sign said, sorry, we're understaffed.
Well,
so we went online.
Pay more.
Riddle me this. The gift shop online is also closed. How much sense does that make?
Well, I mean, people have to ship stuff too. They don't have that person either.
Yeah, they could ship like once a month. I don't care.
I think that's what 411 does. But what is this video? Is there a setup for this?
I don't remember. We'll see. Same day, obviously.
Yeah.
Byron's going to be angry because this.
Why would I be angry about that?
Ticket.
I want to say this is the first actually good video that you've sent me, framing wise, because it is horizontal. Let's see what you have to say.
You should have let me know about these things. How would I know it's supposed to be horizontal?
You will be intuitive.
I just know these things.
And know that most people don't use footage that's vertical.
I would never have thought of that.
Yeah, right.
Ever.
So we just made our first stop.
Oh, it's you and Sam in the car, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
UFO
Also,
on this
Wait, what kind of car is this? What'd you rent?
well, so we rented a Honda RAV4, but the tires were completely bald.
Nice.
Like Sam was terrified the whole trip that we were going to die, especially when we went to Bradshaw Ranch.
Good little tease.
Sam, I think we're supposed to turn around. Are we supposed to go the other direction now? We'll get directions in a minute.
Why record this?
We just hiked out to where Lonnie Zamora saw a UFO with occupants land in April of 1964. They had a really cool mural painted for him. Send those photos too. And I collected a sample from the landing site.
You're talking to me?
Dug a little bit down, collected a sample.
Yeah, all of these are addressed
There's
to you,
a chair.
Byron.
And we're going to check that somehow for radiation. So we'll do that when we get back.
Just leave it in your pocket for 40 years and see if you get a tumor.
Well, that's not a good idea. Also, that's way too long.
So creative.
Sam got some rocks. Look at how fancy and alien-like this rock looks.
We did collect a lot of rocks from different
So,
locations.
yeah, it looks like some sort of quartz.
Sam, what do you
We
think
actually shipped.
about the first stop?
We got a flat rate
That's
shipping.
awesome.
Awesome.
What do you think about the mural?
All right, I'm going to save Sam from this. Great.
So we got a flat rate shipping box, and we filled it with all the rocks and shipped. It must have been 40 pounds of rocks home.
Why'd you do that to the poor understaffed postal service?
Flat
Wonderful.
rate shipping, it's what it's for.
We're still on the 12th. It looks like you were headed towards Roswell, 153 miles. Is
Well,
that-
so all of this is like, it's a loop-de-loop around this test site, right?
Okay.
So there's a sign, it was the first sign we saw that said Roswell, but we
That's
weren't actually
exciting.
going to Roswell. We were going to drive past that point. Okay, well, let's just skip to Roswell then.
This is the 13th. I hope.
Yes, it is. You're right. It is.
Okay.
So we went and visited the famous UFO museum in Roswell, New Mexico. It's in the city. Obviously, it's not out where the incident supposedly occurred. But believe it or not, they have, Byron, I spared you. I took something like 200 photos of the exhibits.
You actually enjoyed
believe it or not, they have
exhibits.
they have a ton of stuff that's only there. Okay. And then they actually have a huge resource library in the back, which is like
I've been there.
cataloged. But you didn't pay attention to this stuff.
No, I didn't care about it too much. I did get food poisoning there, remember? Because at the gift shop,
They don't serve food there.
No, I bought alien jerky from a gift shop.
Oh, I didn't see any alien jerky. I only saw alien jerky at the Alien Research Center in Hyco, Nevada. I didn't see any jerky at this one, so maybe they don't sell it anymore.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's weird. It was a really, really great museum, much better than I was expecting. They have some stuff that we'll be using in some future episodes, some audio especially that was fantastic. And I would love to spend a full week just staying in Roswell and going there and looking through the source material that they have. It's incredible.
Did you go to the
You need a grant
the McDonald's
to get it all digitized. Oh, of course. Keep going. You keep going.
Oh, is that in here? I hope it is. I don't know if it is.
I hope you've got the photo of me.
I don't
going to
think I
McDonald's.
do.
Do you not?
You didn't send me that one.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, Kel. A fun stop.
Gosh,
I
that's really
would
weird.
recommend it.
So just for the listeners, the only way that my technological ability can share photos in mass quantity happens to be through like shared albums on Apple products. And since Byron's an Apple person, I thought he used those. It turns out he doesn't use them. So I've got like this beautiful shared album, but unfortunately that doesn't translate. So, but there's some crap. Oh no, what's that noise?
I'm playing some video from the museum. It's 4 extraterrestrials with a spinning UFO above it. It seems to be an exhibit.
Oh, that's not a current exhibit, I'm afraid to say.
Oh, darn it. It's unfortunate.
The museum's absolutely worth a stop, and there's a gentleman there who comes in a couple days a week to give lectures. He's kind of like the last remaining of the OG researchers that did research with Stanton Friedman, of course.
Rest in
peace. And he told some really fun stories about Stanton. His name is Dennis Balthazar, not Balthazar, as I really wanted to call him. Really nice guy. I think hopefully we're going to be speaking with him pretty darn soon. But we listened to his lecture, talked to him. For those of you watching, got this cool
What are you holding up there?
thing.
Describe that.
It's called Searching for the Truth Selected Articles by Dennis Balthazar. Some really interesting stuff. Not only does he research Roswell, he also researches underground bases. Talked to him briefly about Dulce, and he researches the pyramids.
He is very
Had a lovely
kind,
chat.
and we might be talking with him more in the next few weeks.
Hopefully we'll be able to make that happen. I'm pretty excited about that. But it was a really, really, really fun stop. I was kind of worried because I know, it is a little bit cheesy, but I was expecting it to be completely ridiculous, and it actually had some really good, solid stuff. It reminded me too, Byron, I don't think we've ever watched together the movie starring Kyle MacLachlan, Roswell, about the incident.
I don't know anything about that.
It's pretty funny. We should watch it one of these days. It was made in the 90s. They had some of the props from the set there, which were, honestly, in my opinion, much better than the stupid alien autopsy video. In the museum, they had a lot of material that included Roswell, but also other notable sightings. And so I would love if we could at some point. Believe it or not, I took pictures, Byron, because I think that I would like to use it as a springboard for some of the cases that I want to cover, because
There's a lot more
there are
than
some
just
that I haven't
Roswell.
heard of. It did a really good job with material. Anybody who's in the vicinity, I've read lots of things on Reddit threads saying, don't bother. I totally disagree. Don't go in expecting the Smithsonian. They don't have that kind of funding, but also don't expect a total junk show. They do a really good job. And if you go into the records and the actual library they have there of UFO material, it's insanely impressive. And I think it's kind of a treasure trove that somebody needs to be doing more with.
Yeah, how do you feel about how much was it to actually get in? Because I recall it being a little bit...
my God, I think it was $6 maybe.
Oh, so that's not... Maybe this was a struggling musician being concerned about that when I was younger. But the one, I feel like it was more expensive than that. the one I went to. I hope that this is the same thing. I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, it was really cheap. It was not exorbitant, and it was cheap. It was cheaper for kids, and it was also like I think if you were service member, cheaper, maybe even free. I don't know. No, it is not cost prohibitive in any way.
Fun. Yeah, I've got some of the
worth
images
supporting
here.
too.
What's the KGFL Roswell? Is that the radio station?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. That's where we have that audio that you pulled from. Was that from this exhibit?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
so yes, but it's not from that radio station. It's from a national ABC broadcast. So a little bit different. It's something that went out nationally before they withdrew their "this is a flying saucer" statement. When the government initially said after the Roswell crash, this is a UFO, it's a flying saucer, a nationwide radio station ran with that, and there's audio. And I think this is one of two places where that original audio even exists in the world.
Well, we might have that as well.
Yeah, so we'll have to run with that later. I don't understand why people get on the case of it.
Well, it's because it makes everyone have food poisoning. It makes people very sick to go there, so maybe stay away.
I don't understand that. Look at those buddies. Look at how cute they are.
Yeah, I think those buddies are very cute. The diorama, or what exhibit set up here. But the jerky's overpriced, and it makes you very sick while you're on tour, which is not a good time to be sick.
I don't think they sell jerky there. I saw no jerky.
All right,
I spent a lot of time in the gift shop.
Great.
I dropped a lot of money in all of these gift shops.
Well, that's good. You
Keep
gotta
looking
support
through.
this.
Oh, no.
No, I only
really
did
not
6.
get the,
Yeah, you're fine. We're moving on.
Oh, the McDonald's photo is definitely the best photo. So I just
well,
sent
that'll
you
be
photos.
in the show notes or on Twitter. Let's do that.
I sent you a picture or a few pictures from the White Sands National Monument, National Park, pardon me. I do also recommend that people go and check that out. It's certainly not overtly spooky in any way. It looks like just the giant sand dunes, but it's all super, 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 super white. It was kind of weird because it was very cold the night we were there. So everybody takes their shoes off and walks around on the dunes, and it's just, as far as you can see. It's
Dune
just
shoes.
these white sand dunes, really beautiful. But it was like my feet were freezing. It was very fun. I made
Kelly,
a sand angel.
-20 where I'm at.
I know, like it was in the teens.
Okay. Well,
So I mean, it was not negative, but
Could
like
be
it
worse.
was real cold to be running around barefoot. And I think that was Sam's favorite stop. I felt really bad because, again, showing how understaffed everything was, you're supposed to have to pay an entrance fee to get into the park. We went into the gift shop because there was nobody at the station, like where you're supposed to pay to go through, but the gate was open. And they said, sorry, we don't have enough people to man that station, so just go on ahead. And we were like, well, no, we're happy to pay. We'll just pay you. They're like, no, actually, the way it's set up, we can't take money for it.
so weird.
In here, we can only take money out there. We actually can't take money for you to go. Anybody who's in that area and maybe is more in Sam's leaning and really likes the historical places, that, and if you happen to time it where you can go see the Trinity site as well. I think it's like one day in October and then a day in either April or May. Can't remember when the other one is. I know one of them has already been canceled for 2024 because of funding. So now only one of those days is going to be open in 2024. Very sad, these national places, especially with all the Oppenheimer stuff. You would think that would be just, pretty essential at this point in time.
I mean, is Cillian Murphy there?
No, I don't think so.
see.
Cillian Murphy leaves his house about as much as I do.
What do we have here?
Okay, everybody, this is what the plains of San Augustine look like. Or Saint Augustine.
You got it.
Or Augustine.
Great.
After doing our initial research in Roswell, we had GPS locations for where we could go to. There are multiple sites, right, Byron? So not only are there different sites from the Roswell crash, supposedly the initial impact site, the skip site, the debris site, the body site. Stanton Friedman, especially in his later years, really believed that the actual location was the plains of San Augustine. He thinks that there were actually 2 saucers that crashed with the bodies. It was further northwest of Roswell. And so we decided we were going to hedge our bets on that direction instead. We went and bought ourselves a metal detector, a giant stick magnet, and we drove like 2 hours to the plains of San Augustine to where these coordinates took us. And then there was a fence. Sam wouldn't let me jump the fence.
Tell me when to play this video. I've false started it 4 times.
Sure.
Great.
You're about to break in the metal detector. We're going to a site that supposedly Gary Nolan was at a couple of years ago. And if you know anything about me, you know that I trust Gary Nolan. So really excited. Very grateful to my lovely husband.
Shout out.
For taking me all the way out here. And looks like this is our turn right here. So hopefully we'll be back with really amazing news. Okay, bye.
No, this is a place that there's been a lot of discussion of. And then we fell down this really long Reddit thread of a couple of years ago, Gary Nolan went with this other woman who's a UFO researcher. And I know you're going to ask me who Gary Nolan is. And so I'm going to pretend like I'm saying it for the listeners, but I'm actually saying it for you too, Byron.
Thank you.
Gary Nolan he's kind of like Jeff Meldrum, but on steroids. So he's an insanely well-respected professor and researcher. He's a professor with his own lab at Stanford. He's invented multiple mass spectrometers that they use to research cancer and lots of different neurodegenerative cell diseases. And like, that's what he does. Like, that's 95% of what he does. He also, because he's wildly curious, has spent time using these devices that he actually has patented because he's that smart, to look over some of the crazy claims that UFO people make. So like Stephen Greer had that alien body from somewhere in South America, I think it was. And
Greer
he did
had
an
a body?
analysis of that body. Yeah, supposedly. And he did an analysis of that body and said, no, this is a child with like 5 different disorders that was like really unfortunate, but it's absolutely not extraterrestrial in any way. So like Stephen Greer hates him. So he's the perfect example of what I hope, Byron, you look to in the year of agnosticism. He just wants to look at data. He's not saying that anything is or isn't factual. He's saying if there's enough data that's worth looking at, let's look at it and see, which was the case with that body. He's like, well, we've got a freaking body that somebody's saying is something else. On the surface, it looks really weird, so why wouldn't we do the research? He's also pretty independently wealthy because of the things he's patented, and he's happy to put his money into that, so that's what he does.
Better than Bigelow spending his money.
Well, and I think the problem with Bigelow is he's obviously got some weird ego thing tied to it where he really wants to be in control of whatever it is.
He spent $20 million on DeSantis.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
What a fucking idiot.
Could have used it on some other stuff.
Here's what I can promise you. I promise you that Gary Nolan did not spend a penny on DeSantis. Nolan and a friend of his had some, government insider, worked with CIA, whatever, said, like, this is actually the site out in San Augustine. I'm going to take you guys out there. Gary Nolan, this was a couple of years ago, retrieved some samples and is going to run tests on them. Hasn't run the tests yet, but we tracked down what supposedly were the coordinates of the place that Gary Nolan went to, which coincided with the place Stanton Friedman said he thinks the major debris actually was. So we were like, okay, everybody's combed like the debris field closer to Roswell. Let's go to this one. But yeah, after going back on this road, like back and forth, there was really no way to get into the area without going over a fence, and Sam was not going to let me do that, unfortunately. So I was real bummed.
Okay, we are driving through Horse Springs again. We have not located a road that Sam is willing to drive down. Because
you seem really upset. What's wrong?
Temporary. This is so much less upset than I got. I got
really?
So much. I was so sad.
Oh,
well, because I was
you
like
wanted him to drive down like a. Yeah, but I mean, you think that?
No. I just wanted him to let me jump the fence and sprint.
Oh God. Okay.
Very mild blockades on most of them, and I am possibly going to just go over them myself on foot and run.
Yeah, you look really upset. You're very upset.
See?
Second pair of sunglasses, though. How many did you bring?
I can feel that we're very close.
Just 2.
I can feel it in my bones.
I mean, like, I remember really
once
close.
I get out there, if I get out there, I will film a bit more. So what we
need to do, Byron, you and I need to go back here. We need to contact the landowner that owns the land where these coordinates are and see if they'll let us come on. We can let them know, like, we aren't like the History Channel. This is just 2 dumpies.
Yeah, we won't
trying to
pay
go
you
walk
any
around with their
money.
metal detector.
You won't get famous or anything.
like if they wanted to be famous, they could have a sign up saying this is the site of the Plains
The
of St.
spot.
Augustine.
Yeah,
and
I'm
like
sure,
charge people to come there.
I'm sure the government has paid anyone who actually has land that's of importance plenty of money, so they don't.
Quite
need to-
possibly.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. But we should try anyway. So that was a real disappointment.
Does the disappointment continue here in this next clip?
Yeah, it does.
Well,
Really
does
upset.
look like we're going to the Plains of St. Augustine today. Sam's not letting me jump fences and run. He is refusing to stop the car. He's refusing to bypass any barriers.
It's a good idea. This is all wise.
And it looks like I'm going to have to come down here potentially with someone who will break more rules.
Why? Now you're trying to convince me?
That's willing to do stupid shit and tolerate your bullshit.
Well, you'll hear what my
think
other
my
idea
mother
is.
would come. And I think she would help me find this spot. And
Don't you think Sea Hughes would jump fences and run
Byron
with
probably
me?
would.
Can't you see that? Yeah,
Byron-
you would.
I don't think I would,
Don't
first
you
of
think,
all.
Byron?
No, not for something like that. Maybe
Really?
you're... No. I mean, I know
I don't
it's
know.
the
My
year of
mom's
the...
always up for an adventure. And then if we got in trouble, she would just talk us out of it because she just,
She looks...
I really think my mom might be the
distinguished.
ticket.
Yeah. Well, I just
Yeah.
don't like breaking those types of rules. I'm kind of with Sam on that, but I don't know. Do
Yeah.
you
Like, we
continue
had
on,
these
or is it
fancy-
just a regurgitation of sadness?
Yeah. You can skip the rest of it.
All
Yeah,
right.
it was just, I was real sad.
Yeah.
Unbelievably sad. I mean, I was really close and then I didn't make it. And that broke my soul.
I mean, this face looks even more upset. Same day, though.
I don't know what this one is. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what this
Let's
one
take
was.
a peek.
Well, I'm mourning the loss of my opportunity to see the likely real crash site of Roswell. But I did have a little champagne. We stopped.
That's why you
I
don't
forgot
remember.
about that.
Yeah. Nice.
I forgot
Found
about
some
that.
really cool crystals. Because if you can't
Me too.
find
Kelly,
crash debris
this is 45 minutes long.
with anomalous isotopes, the next best thing is crystals.
Yeah.
So we did find some crystals, which that was appropriate because we wanted the Sedona.
Okay. I don't want to just embarrass you. We got another minute.
That's part of what we sent back. Oh no, see, you still think that I can be embarrassed. I love that you think that.
That's
So.
true. How much champagne did you drink?
A lot.
Oh.
A lot. So the Whole
I'm
Foods
just
we stopped
brushing
at,
it
they
off.
only had
I'm
clearance
making it a-
champagne from Christmas.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 bottles and I drank 3/4 of one of them on this part of the trip.
Yeah.
Adjustment to my attitude. And now I'm really hoping that I'm going to open Sam's mind to something amazing in Sedona. We'll see what happens. Between now and then, we're driving through a bunch of really weird little ski towns, but because of climate change, there's really no snow anywhere.
You seem so mad.
See, like, there's not enough snow for there to be a ski town, but it's a ski town. So I guess we're just going to
Yeah,
keep
there
driving.
were like 5 of those. It was really depressing.
You're bitter about climate change?
Well, yeah, of course I'm bitter about climate change. Who isn't bitter about climate change?
Yeah, I mean, you should be, but it
Other
just
than
seems,
DeSantis.
it's true.
I don't know. I'm going to be of no
Oh,
use
man.
because I'm about ready to fall asleep because Sam talked me into having champagne when we stopped for rocks. So, tomorrow is Sedona. We're going to look at the Bradshaw Ranch. Tomorrow night, we are going to go on a stargazing tour. Okay.
It's really good.
That's all.
Great. Wonderful.
So,
So,
yeah, Sedona was very fun. Yeah, I was so sad that Sam was like, okay, here's the place where we can find crystals. You drink the champagne. And I said, okay. So that was Sedona, but there should be some Bradshaw Ranch stuff before
I don't
that.
have any Bradshaw
Or we can play
Ranch.
it afterwards. It doesn't really matter.
I mean,
I sent you a lot of Bradshaw Ranch stuff. Probably my favorite place that we visited. It was very easy to walk around. Sam was willing to walk around there, although he was really nervous about us getting to the location because it was like a road, but it was a really rocky road. those tires. Like, I was even a little nervous. But we made it. Sam's a very good driver. I'm grateful for that. Very spooky and weird. We went out to the house on the property. I may or may not have absconded with a piece of wood.
Wait,
That
what do you
also
mean?
could be what's making me feel really, really sick right now. I don't know. Here's your 10-second version.
Well, I mean, I know that you
Sister
did.
of-
Hold tight 1 second. You did send me an image of the dirt outside Bradshaw Ranch. Is that, or is that
Giant footprints.
Well,
Giant, weird.
I do not believe it's a footprint. Let's take a.
Oh, it's definitely a foot. Well, I mean, it's a track of some sort. It's some animal. I guess a footprint does imply that it is like a human foot. I don't know what the hell it is. There were tons of them. I took pictures of a ton of them. This is just the one I took a video of, so you could like hopefully see more of the depth and stuff.
Sure. So
Sam's estimation was that it was about 2 inches deep. And like when we were stepping, it was maybe going, I don't know, half an inch down in the same soil.
So you're saying it has a lot of weight to it, not that their ground may have been wet, and that could be the reason that it went deeper.
Well, no, certainly it could. Helly, something kill me.
Excuse me?
It could be, but it was pretty fresh. Like it had to have happened pretty recently because there were other tracks we could see that were older that, you know, had stuff blown over them or whatever. They seemed like they had to be pretty fresh.
So Kelly, I have it, but you're not going to be able to hear it.
Okay, legitimately, what in the heck is that?
It appears to be a hoof to me, large hoof.
Yeah, it does look. So what was funny is we started looking up because Sam said too. Sam's like, okay, yeah, it's definitely an animal track. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's something normal. So we started looking and we were like comparing it to all these tracks, and we found this one page that had like, you know, a bunch. And Sam's like, that one, it looks just like that one. And we look at it. You know what it was?
An
A
alien.
giraffe.
Ah, okay. So that's
No, a
kind of
giraffe.
fun.
So here's the thing. The weird thing about this place is it's like Skinwalker, where like people say that they have seen hippopotamuses there or dinosaurs. It's like the kind of totally off the wall crazy shit like there is at Skinwalker. So I don't want to give away too much of that because I am going to go really heavily into that in our Bradshaw Ranch series.
Yeah.
But going there very much convinced me that we need to do a really deep dive into Bradshaw. The history there is incredible. Whatever's going on there is no small thing.
Well, and then you had a bit of a stumble later that day, right?
Yeah, so we were supposed to go on this phenomenal UFO tour with this lady, Melinda Leslie. You get to use third generation night vision, which of course is what Sam was really excited about. But because there was cloud cover, she canceled it, which, you know.
Did you
that
know
makes
much
sense.
about Melinda Leslie before the trip?
Do I know enough about Melinda? Yeah, I know about Melinda Leslie. Please. You think I don't do my research?
Can you establish for us the idea that there is a military connection and a UFO connection?
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's so much evidence. So many people have had
Oh, can you pause for a
run-ins with
minute?
the
Of course.
I really want to make sure that you don't give too much of this away, because if she's talking about the concrete plant and the dome that's near Sedona, that has to do with my Bradshaw report, and I do not want you getting.
Okay, well then I won't spoil that. I will just say that she is
an interesting woman who
She
looks
reminds
more
me
normal than your
of-
average Sedona person.
she looks like a bookkeeper in the late 90s, yeah.
Exactly.
She kind of has
very unsweet.
Phil Schneider energy as well. Maybe for
I
good
can see
reason.
that. I can totally see that.
Maybe
Yeah,
they
for
were
good
friends.
reason.
Maybe they
So-
crossed paths. I don't know.
I was bummed. This is
Yeah.
the second thing that my soul was crushed on. But I knew that Sam's soul was crushed even more than mine. So instead, we went and did a ghost tour. Nearby Sedona is this old mining town called Jerome, which interestingly, Byron, is a little bit like Butte. It's smaller, but it was how William Clark, one of the governors, I think, of Montana, like he made some money in Butte, but he made most of it in Jerome. That place was spooky.
As a mine,
We used
right?
a spirit box. So it was an interesting tour, but it's like in the side of the mountain. So literally, like as they were mining, like buildings would just fall down the side of the mountain. One of the best stories about the town is the jail one day just literally fell off the edge of one of the cliffs on the mountain and landed below, but it was like structurally sound, so they just used it from where it landed.
Did you do this Pandora's Box tour?
Yep. And the guy who did the tour was great. Very into it. This was a unique tour because they actually give you an EMF detector and a spirit box that happened to be the exact same spirit box, Byron, that we had.
Oh,
So it was
cool.
helpful
So
to
we
use
have
it
a, we
and
have a
get a
decent
little
one.
bit of a sense for how it worked.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's very reminiscent of Butte in a lot of ways. But that church that they're showing right there, okay? We stood on the front steps of that church. The spirit box said twice in like a 2-minute period, I need it. really loudly, really clearly. Sam could hear it. Even Sam was a little bit like, whoa. That was
Sure.
weird.
I need it.
Well, so everybody in town, when people started getting really upset with the mining conditions, William Clark did what any good mining billionaire would do, and he started giving everybody more credits at the brothels
Okay.
and as much opium as they wanted. And so everybody was really addicted to both. The people died in pretty horrible ways in this town. And so I assume it was opium, but
Or ladies. Interesting.
yeah, could be. It was a great ghost tour, very spooky. The school used to be during the Spanish flu, they used it as a hospice center.
Oh.
And so you go into the school and then you go into the basement of the school, and that really freaked me out. Actually, I didn't like that as much.
Was that basement
Nope.
image from a different paranormal experience?
It wasn't a basement. It wasn't a basement.
Well, Sam looks good and healthy here, alive, certainly alive.
That was a really good one. They did a good job.
Great.
Then the next day we got up and drove, made it to Laughlin, which was fairly uneventful. I don't think there's anything in Laughlin that you would be too interested in hearing about.
Yeah.
Place is a weird place. We did stay in a haunted hotel, but not in the haunted room in it. And then we drove up the extraterrestrial highway.
How far does that go? What is the lore about that? Is it just a tourist trap type situation?
No, so the extraterrestrial highway goes past Area 51.
Okay, that's right. It's the one.
Starts north of Vegas, and then it goes all the way up to Tonopah, which is where we spent the night. It was really fun. We actually made the trek all the way down to the gates of Area 51. Sam had to help a very nice Japanese woman change her tire because she had gone down the road to Area 51, got a flat tire, didn't speak English, and was very frightened. And so Sam, because he's Sam, stopped, changed her tire for her, and she gave him some very nice Japanese snacks that he said were terrifyingly disgusting, but she was very sweet. And then we drove the rest of the way, and I did some... So that's me doing metal detecting.
Metal detecting at the gate of Area 51 there. All right. And you didn't
and
see
I don't know,
anyone?
I can't really see it in this photo, but they're definitely, so I don't know why you can't see it in that photo. That's kind of weird, but on the hill on the right-hand side, at the top of that hill was a white truck. Everything is white trucks everywhere, and it's a private company that does the security for Area 51. It's not government.
Or else they'd be black trucks.
So I waved at him like 100 times, and I stood by the gate for a long time, and the sign says you can't take pictures, and I took a lot of pictures, and I kept hoping he would come down, but he would not come down. There was no budging that man.
You were trying to do like some police auditing, sovereign citizen type shit to get their attention?
You know, there's nothing I love more than sovereign citizen shit.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. I love that image.
I did
Very
find some
cool.
good rocks.
You found some more rocks?
So many rocks. I've got bags of rocks that are labeled by the location that I found them.
Great. You must have a
very
very,
fun.
very
and Byron,
large
I do
house.
think we need. So this is where I'm proposing that we go and spend the night.
Oh, during
right
our upcoming trip in the next few months.
Yeah,
We're
and
heading
that
back to the
man-
area.
Or one of his colleagues will be at the top of the hill in his white truck watching us the whole time.
Well, we'll bring them lunch. That sounds fun.
Oh, that would be a great idea. Actually, Byron, it's funny you say that. So if you click to the next photo, the hotel we stayed at for the last eventful night of our trip, the Mitzpah Hotel in Tonopah. So this was the tippy top of the extraterrestrial highway, also a mining town, similar history, all of that stuff. But used to be a very, very famous fancy hotel, like the fanciest hotel on the way to California, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We stayed in the room of the lady in red, who was a famous woman who negotiated affections.
Okay.
And
so
she
lady pimp or
is rumored to heavily. No, she was independent.
Oh.
She did it herself, but she was her own businesswoman. She is rumored to not only haunt the room, but she hates women. Like hates them.
Dislikes
and
them
apparently
strongly.
if you wear red, she gets really, really angry. So I decided, because she used to wear red, and so like wearing red is supposed to piss
Well, she
her
went by
off.
Rose,
So
right?
I decided she did, Rose, but her real name is Evelyn.
Yeah.
Instead of wearing red, because I was terrified, instead of wearing red, I took a different approach. Brought her a very fancy red sequin top and put it in her armoire.
Okay. Which,
And
I mean,
then
should
I
we
put on
take
the
a look
last
at
10 minutes of the Northman so she could see Alexander Skarsgård naked, but I still woke up the next morning with this. I don't know if you can see this, Byron, but this bruise.
The lady in red's former room. Actually, it's just a part of her former room. She used to have a whole suite up here. This is room 504.
Is this a suite, did you say?
It's called the Lady in Red Suite.
Ah.
Yeah.
And
So, but she actually it used to be this plus 2 more rooms that were all combined that were her full suite.
That's big.
we heard that actually there's more activity next door in 502. But I
was really scared.
Really trying
legitimately
to make sure that
I wouldn't,
Rose,
when we
which was her
slept,
business name,
I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't touch Sam. There was a foot of space between Sam and I the whole night.
So weird. You slept fine at the Stanley.
We bought
the ghosts there weren't rumored to hate women.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Okay, well that.
Oh yeah, this was weird. So I put the shirt in, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't open.
A moment ago, and now it won't open. Literally, that enough. Oh, okay, that's really scary.
Jesus.
I bought her a red shirt because a lot of people like to come here and wear red because it supposedly provokes her. She wants to say hi to us. That's lovely, but
you're out of breath because you're so scared.
I was terrified. I was so scared.
That's
I wouldn't get up and go to the bathroom. I had to pee all night. I wouldn't go to the bathroom.
Why would you wait? This is probably expensive. Why were you miserable on purpose? It
was really expensive.
Ugh.
If you're here, just want to say that we're really sorry for what happened, and we're going to try and use a spirit box in a little while to talk to you. That's my husband.
Oh my God, he's been on the bed the whole time?
I prefer that.
I was telling you to get out of there.
He really does not want his stuff on.
But,
so he was like, go away.
I get it.
Anyhow, I don't get along with a lot of women either. I've heard you don't particularly enjoy women. A-okay with me. Totally understood. I hope that you enjoy that shirt.
Your husband has got a lot of patience, by the way. You've literally been talking to yourself, let's be honest, for about 3 minutes.
Locked when literally a minute ago, or I guess like 2.5 minutes ago, I put it in there. We're going to go on our tour in a little bit, and then we'll be back. And we'll try to talk to you if you have any interest in it. And if not, that is absolutely okay as well. Okay. Thanks so much, Rose.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah. Very scary.
So there's
honestly, that's probably, unless there's something in these photos that somebody can see that I haven't been able to see.
What is this little nook here with the next to the modern thermostat?
It's just another sink outside the bathroom.
Okay. But above it is an odd image of a woman wearing a bonnet.
Little mirror.
Okay. So nothing special there. Here's some more of your setup. What'd you eat? You've got a clamshell to-go case there.
There was actually a really nice restaurant in the hotel. It was really yummy. I got some fettuccine something or another.
Cool.
They were very, very nice.
Looking for shadows, looking for reflections.
And don't worry about combing it too much, Byron, because we are going to do an episode on the Lady in Red and her story and kind of what people have reported, because they actually have a whole book at the hotel for people to write about their experiences, because people have experiences that frequently.
Cool. And this is where she would put her day's outfit on. Right.
Yep.
And there's Sam on a bed, totally alive, reading a newspaper about the hotel. And then what do we have here?
And that is the basement.
Why did they let you go into the basement?
Ghost tour from that.
Oh, sure. Okay, so they
did
the
ghost tour.
An in-hotel ghost tour, and they show you this basement, which contains all the garbage. What do we got here?
That night was one of the scariest things that happened. So the next morning we got up to drive south and get closer to Vegas, because that's where our plane was going to leave the following day. So we went south on the ET highway again, but when we woke up, the hotel people in the lobby were asking us what direction we were headed. And they said, oh, good, because if you go the other way south to Vegas, it's actually faster, but it's not the ET highway.
Sure.
And they said, okay, as long as you're not trying to go the fast way, because that highway is closed down. There was actually a murder last night, and the suspect has not been apprehended. he fled the crime scene with a shotgun. And so nobody's allowed down that highway right now, and everybody really needs to be careful. So that was really pretty scary.
I understand your concerns. It seemed like did they end up apprehending the person who shot someone?
They did.
Okay. Yeah. And was there a motive behind that? I heard it was a tow truck driver that got shot.
I don't know. I don't know if it was just some guy on drugs or what, but it was, a tow truck driver.
4 a.m., so probably
went out to help to a call, and the guy got in some altercation with him, shot him and the tow truck driver's son. The son survived. The dad did not.
That's brutal. That's terrible stuff.
And he took off. Yeah, it was really bad.
Wow.
Yeah, those are more pictures from the lady in red.
Nothing terribly eventful.
Hold on, go back.
We have a video here.
Before the actual...
Oh, yeah, I don't want to do this video right now. We're going to do this when we do the...
Cool, we'll save that for the story. Okay.
Yeah. And then our final... It just looks like there's something in that photo on the right.
There's nothing there. It's just a shadowy... Oh my God, what's that? There's a ghoul sitting on top of whatever this is.
Oh.
It's a shadow
You're lucky
ghoul.
I'm feeling too sick to yell at you too much. Okay, so the next day, our final big stop... I don't think I sent you photos of this, but we did stop at the Little Alien.
Oh, cool.
Byron, I did get you a bumper sticker.
I like that place. They, got a lot of attention during the Raid Area 51 movement. One of the only places to stay if you're thinking about storming Area 51.
Wouldn't recommend it. I'm going to be straight up. Nope. We didn't stay there. There's a reason we didn't stay there. I don't recommend it.
Wait, what do you mean by that? You got a
Byron,
dish.
do you want to show some photos of the interior of any of the rooms?
They seem to be pretty standard, right? Let's see. Like that? Really small, just like kind of like a bed in a room?
Sure.
Yeah, it's not nice.
We stopped at what ended up being what I thought was almost as good. Not as good because it didn't have all the research stuff, but the Alien Research Center, which is at the foot of the extraterrestrial highway. So back as you turn to go towards Vegas. In Hico, Nevada, Hiko.
Sure.
Great spot, run by a guy that we're also hoping to speak to on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Really wonderful gift shop. I would say the best gift shop of the tour.
Meat, dried meat, cured meat, anything?
They do have tons of jerky there. That's why I was saying they didn't have any at the other place, but they have tons here.
Weird.
Didn't get any, but
yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah. From there, we went to the motherland. We went to Pahrump and found Art Bell's compound. Like 3 houses that are all behind a fence together at the end of a little street, kind of on the outskirts of Pahrump.
Did they take his dish down?
I have to say somebody actually bought his ham operator license, and he's still got satellites and towers galore out there. Like, I don't know what somebody's running out there if they just have it up. It was surprisingly spiritual to go. It was pretty amazing to see that place in person.
You spent like a good amount of time there?
So yeah. We spent like 20 minutes there, probably. Yeah.
Is that the place? The Kingdom of Nye? 95.1?
That's the Kingdom of Nye.
Wow. And you can kind of see it there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That's where all the magic happened until the government killed him.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was just COPD. But
okay. He did smoke
still
a lot.
Gone too soon.
Yeah. Wonderful.
He smoked a lot.
Well, there you are. So would you recommend
Byron, it? Every bit of it. I want to do it again. That also makes me really anxious to do a Colorado-Utah tour, kind of the same stripe. See some of the famous places there. It was wonderful. It was
good,
fantastic.
anxious, excited, anxious.
Yeah. I am, however, suffering now, like whether that bruise is attached to a lingering disease that Rose left me with.
Yeah, let's talk about that again. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just knew that we had some more video before you jumped to Rose. You believe that you got touched by a ghost.
Well, I woke up with a giant bruise that hurts really bad on my arm.
Well, maybe Sam flipped around real quick. Does he flip?
3 days? No, he doesn't. Last 3 days, I've been ungodly sick. Like, so sick.
Yeah,
like, can't do anything sick.
It's
like, I'm gonna have to
affecting your
get
daughter
off
now,
real
too.
soon, because I'm dying. But there were some intense chemtrails around Area 51.
Now you're a chemtrails person? You're not a chemtrails
probably
person.
Not. But the lady at the Little Alien Inn certainly was. We had lunch there, and she told us all about the chemtrails.
Did you talk to the owner?
No, just a lady that worked there like 5 years. The owner wasn't on site that day.
I'm glad you had fun. It was nice to have those glimpses of excitement coming in while I was miserable here, and I am extremely excited to be
Byron.
traveling pretty soon here. We've got another trip, planting seeds for a couple different episodes within these trips. So
I totally see why Corbell does this.
what do you mean? Like travels around and talks to people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Well, I'm happy
Minus
to
the
hear.
sick part. I'm looking forward. Hopefully I can talk you into jumping some fences. I think you'd have fun on this trek.
I think we can make some calls and do it the correct way. But Kelly, yeah, welcome back. We've got
Thank you, B.
quite the schedule ahead of us. I'm really excited to get into 2024. And Kelly, until next time, where are you going to be?
I'm going to be sleeping, and you can send me an email, kelly@frightday.com.
We've got True Tales of Terror coming up. And also we have an adjusted date for Camp Frightday in typical Frightday fashion. A little bit of a shift, but yeah, go to frightday.rsvp. Latest information will be there as soon as it's available. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay, Byron. I understand.
I mean, we just have some exciting potential opportunities that we're taking advantage of. So, yeah.
We got to lock them in.
I'm at Byron
so
McKoy on
much.
Twitter and Instagram. Byron@frightday.com is my email address. And until next episode of Frightday, I'm Byron.
I'm Kelly.
Holding up an alien there, a bobblehead. Stay on the road. Don't breach the fences and stay scared. You've been listening to an Audio Wall original, produced by Byron McKoy, theme music provided by Cemeteries. For more programs like this, visit audiowall.co.